very, very interesting conversation took place on Fox Sports Radio over the weekend. And it says, titles, Laker fans are happy LeBron is gone. And the title of the show is, was LeBron James' Lakers run disappointing? Rob G and Kelvin debate. So it's about a 25-minute segment. So I tune in and everybody's kind of weighing in. But then Rob G begins to break it down in a way that I've heard few break it down, the perspective of Laker fans and how they viewed LeBron and why they didn't accept him the way they did Kobe and other stars. Before we even get into his comments,
a Fox Sports Radio host recently shared his take on why so many Lakers fans never quite embraced LeBron James the way they embraced Kobe Bryant. As more people revisit his years in Los Angeles, the conversation around his legacy keeps evolving, with fans holding pretty different views on what that legacy actually amounts to. Is one championship across 5 seasons enough to place him among the greatest Lakers of all time, or is the standard in Los Angeles simply set higher than that? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Let me make sure we're on the same page. If a Laker fan said, I'll be honest, I think the LeBron era was a little disappointing, I don't have a problem with that. I'm talking about the hate, the good riddance, never should have came. That's the stuff I'm talking about. If you just did an assessment and say I wanted more, I thought there was left more to be desired, I'm cool with that. But this, I was on the air the day he signed. We took calls the whole rest of the show, as you can imagine. It was a huge deal then. And 90% of the calls were, we don't even want him. Get out of here. I'm like, dude, who doesn't want the best player in whatever sport? So the Lions wouldn't want Patrick Mahomes. Your Vegas Raiders wouldn't want, say he was to leave next year. You get what I mean? So I was blown away. Nobody wants the best player. That makes zero sense.
The sports world is buzzing right now, and it's largely because the reaction from Lakers fans has sparked a genuine debate. For years, plenty of national media voices pushed the idea that LeBron's tenure with the Lakers should be viewed as a clear success story, with some arguing that a single championship was enough to completely reshape the franchise's direction, while others never fully bought into that narrative. Now that some time has passed, more fans are openly sharing how they really feel, and those honest opinions are fueling some genuinely heated discussions.
Best player gets the championship. And again, I'm not saying it was perfect, but the get riddance, could get out of here, never wanted you, should have never came. That's the part where I'm like, all right, that's too much extra sauce. That's all I'm saying.
I would agree with that part. But I guess what my overall arching point is, if the extremism, yes, I would agree with you. But the idea that LeBron somehow saved the Lakers is crazy to me. And the idea that the only reason why there are some segments, or not only reason, one reason why there are segments of Laker Nation that is happy to see him go is because of some affinity to Kobe, I think that is very overblown.
On Fox Sports Radio, host Rob G laid out his perspective during a conversation with a passionate caller, and his comments quickly caught fire online. He argued that many Lakers fans never bonded with LeBron the same way they did with franchise legends like Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, or Shaquille O'Neal. According to Rob G, part of the reason comes down to the fact that Lakers fans simply measure greatness differently than a lot of other fan bases. In Los Angeles, success is defined by championships, sustained runs of dominance, and building a legacy that lasts. He contrasted that with Cleveland, pointing to LeBron delivering the Cavaliers' first championship in franchise history, an achievement that meant everything to that city because it ended a title drought stretching back generations. For Cavaliers fans, that moment created a bond with LeBron that will likely never fade. But Rob G argued that Los Angeles operates under a completely different basketball culture, one where expectations have always been sky high. The Lakers are one of the most decorated franchises in sports history, and fans have watched Magic Johnson collect 5 championships, Kobe Bryant win 5 titles of his own, and Shaquille O'Neal dominate through an unforgettable three-peat. Given that history, many Lakers supporters naturally expect sustained excellence rather than a single title followed by several inconsistent seasons. Whether people agree with that standard or not, it's become deeply woven into the Lakers' identity.
What it is being in LA and being a Laker is different than almost every other team in the league this side of the Boston Celtics. When you are a Laker and you go down the pantheon of great Lakers, winning one is like the bare minimum. If you want to consider yourself a great player in Lakers history, then it starts at 3. Like, don't even get me started if we haven't gotten at least 3. Jerry West went to the finals 9 times. And if you say, where does Jerry West rank on the pantheon of Laker greats? He's like 7th. Because he only got the one.
Rob G also pointed to Jerry West to reinforce his argument. West remains one of the most respected names in basketball history. He appeared in 9 NBA Finals, became the inspiration behind the NBA's iconic logo silhouette, and later helped assemble championship teams as front office executive. His influence on the sport is nearly impossible to fully measure. Yet despite everything he accomplished, many longtime Lakers fans have still ranked Jerry West behind several other franchise legends because he captured only one NBA title as a player. Rob G's point was that if someone with a resume as remarkable as West's is still evaluated by such high standards, it becomes easier to understand why some fans are reluctant to place LeBron among the greatest Lakers after winning one championship and spending a shorter portion of his career with the franchise. Whether that viewpoint is fair or not, it's a discussion that continues to surface year after year. Another issue that frequently enters the conversation is how some national media personalities evaluated LeBron's legacy in Los Angeles. During his Lakers tenure, several analysts argued that he had already earned recognition typically reserved for the franchise's all-time greats. Those opinions drew strong reactions because many Lakers fans believed those honors should come only after years of sustained excellence and multiple championship runs. That difference in expectations still divides the basketball community today. For many Lakers supporters, winning one championship is certainly appreciated, but they don't believe it's automatically enough to place someone in the same category as players who built dynasties. They often point to multiple titles, extended periods of dominance, and unforgettable postseason performances as the true benchmark. That's why comparisons involving Magic, Kobe, or Shaq tend to become so passionate whenever LeBron's Lakers legacy is brought into the conversation.
To come out and say that, well, hey, LeBron got you that one championship, he led you out of the dark ages, you guys owe him a big debt of gratitude. You can appreciate what he did while also being honest about the fact that he left a hell of a lot of meat on that bone. And this idea that, so one last thing, that they were never going to crawl out of the hole that they were in is crazy because, as I mentioned, before LeBron got there, Paul George had already said he wanted to come. Kawhi Leonard had already said he wanted to come. I'm not saying they were going to get both. They were going to get either one of them or there's going to be somebody else. But I can tell you is when you are the Lakers, every couple of years, eventually, somebody is going to want to say, I want to play in LA. I want to be on national TV. I want the mystique of being a Laker. And when you get there, the expectation is championship. And there are some guys who want that challenge. Not everybody, but there are some.
The expectations that come with playing for the Lakers have always been different from those of almost every other NBA franchise. Another key argument focuses on the belief that Los Angeles has long been one of basketball's premier destinations. Those who push back against the idea that LeBron saved the franchise argue that elite players have wanted to play for the Lakers for generations because of the team's rich history, worldwide brand, and championship tradition. In their view, another superstar would have eventually chosen Los Angeles regardless. Others, however, believe LeBron was instrumental in restoring the franchise's relevance and bringing it back into the spotlight. That disagreement continues to be one of the defining conversations surrounding his Lakers tenure. Because of the organization's legendary history, many fans believe the Lakers brand has always been larger than any individual player. They argue that wearing the purple and gold carries extraordinary expectations, and achieving legendary status takes more than superstar appeal or a single championship. Others see it differently and feel LeBron's impact, both on the court and beyond it, deserves significantly greater recognition.
Regardless of where people stand, one thing remains obvious. The debate over LeBron's Lakers legacy isn't fading anytime soon, and basketball fans continue to disagree over what truly makes someone a Lakers legend. A comparison some fans use is that it's like arriving in a brand new luxury sports car. In most places, everyone notices because it immediately stands out. But if you drive into a neighborhood already filled with exotic cars, it barely attracts any attention. That's how some supporters describe LeBron's arrival in Los Angeles. Lakers fans had already experienced decades of championship teams and iconic superstars, so simply adding another global star wasn't enough to leave them in awe. For many of those fans, the standard was always much higher. In their eyes, what mattered wasn't fame or media attention, it was sustained winning. They expected deep playoff runs season after season, a roster that consistently competed for championships, and an organization committed to title contention every year. From that perspective, lasting appreciation had to be earned through consistent success, not simply because one of basketball's biggest names joined the team.
Conversation, and even to go across to Boston. You mentioned Jaylen Brown at the end of last hour about, hey, he's going to be welcome back in Boston. I'm sure he is, because they seem to like him for the most part, even maybe at the end of the Rocky. But Brad Stevens knows that we are not in the business in Boston of just being competitive. We are not the Cleveland Cavaliers where we don't mind maxing out Donovan Mitchell, knowing that there's a ceiling as to how high we can get. They are in the business of championships, and they determined that they cannot win a championship with Tatum and Brown taking up 70% of the cap. The Lakers are the same kind of situation. And
when people look back on those 5 seasons, opinions become even more divided. Outside of the 2020 championship, the Lakers experienced early playoff exits, play-in tournament appearances, injuries, frequent roster changes, and only one additional trip to the Western Conference Finals. Supporters and critics view that stretch through very different lenses. Some believe the championship outweighs everything else, while others argue the overall body of work didn't meet the standard Lakers fans have come to expect. For a franchise built on championship expectations, many supporters measure success by sustained dominance rather than isolated accomplishments. That's why some fans push back whenever that era is described as a golden age. They point to the highs and lows, the inconsistency, and the constant roster turnover as reasons their perspective never aligned with some of the national media narratives. That disconnect between television discussions and the expectations of Lakers fans became one of the defining storylines surrounding the team. The comparison to Kobe Bryant continues to surface because for many Lakers fans, his connection to the franchise was built across 2 decades. Kobe spent his entire NBA career in the same uniform, played through injuries, embraced enormous pressure, and helped deliver 5 championships to Los Angeles. Whether someone ranks him above LeBron or not, many fans believe that level of long-term dedication simply can't be replicated in a few seasons. Supporters often argue that kind of bond isn't created through interviews, documentaries, or social media. Instead, it's earned through years of sacrifice, unforgettable playoff performances, and repeatedly delivering when expectations are at their highest. That's why Kobe's relationship with Lakers fans continues to stand apart, even years after his retirement. Another criticism raised by some fans focused on how difficult seasons were discussed in the media. Whenever the Lakers struggled, much of the conversation centered on coaching decisions, roster construction, injuries, or the front office. Critics believed too much attention was placed on outside circumstances instead of distributing responsibility across everyone involved. Others completely disagreed, arguing that the challenges were far more complex than any single player could overcome. Either way, those debates never seemed to fade. Some longtime basketball fans also believe that playing for a major market franchise means embracing pressure instead of concentrating on outside narratives. In cities like Los Angeles, they argue, fans care less about public perception and far more about what happens between the lines. Winning consistently has always been the ultimate standard, and every superstar who puts on a Lakers jersey is measured against the franchise's remarkable history. As this chapter came to a close, some analysts predicted the Lakers could be headed for difficult years ahead. Many Lakers fans, however, weren't convinced by those predictions. Their reasoning was straightforward. They had already lived through seasons filled with injuries, roster changes, play-in battles, and campaigns that fell short of championship expectations. Because of that experience, they viewed the future much differently than many television discussions suggested. Ultimately, this conversation reflects the ongoing divide between national media narratives and the opinions of passionate Lakers fans. Some believe LeBron's years in Los Angeles deserve significantly more appreciation, while others feel the franchise's historic standard demands even greater success. One thing is certain, the Lakers' history has always established an incredibly high benchmark, and every superstar who wears purple and gold will continue to be compared with the legends who came before. That debate isn't going away anytime soon. Many Lakers fans believe respect isn't automatically given the moment a superstar joins the franchise. It has to be earned. That's one reason Kobe Bryant's legacy still carries so much weight in Los Angeles. He helped deliver back-to-back championships, battled through serious injuries, and played with relentless intensity every time he stepped onto the floor. For many supporters, that level of commitment became the standard, making comparisons inevitable whenever another superstar arrives. The discussion on Fox Sports Radio stood out because it reflected an opinion shared by many longtime Lakers fans. Rather than focusing only on star power or highlight reels, the conversation centered on what the organization has traditionally valued. From that perspective, legendary status is built through championships, loyalty, consistency, and unforgettable moments over many years, not simply one successful season or a powerful public image. As the debate continues, more people are asking why opinions about this era remain so divided. Some critics argue that national sports media naturally focus on superstar players because those stories attract the largest audiences. Others believe the coverage has been completely fair. Either way, the discussion has become just as much about media narratives as it has been about basketball itself. Some fans also believe that once a player reaches a certain level of fame, every achievement receives extra attention while shortcomings are evaluated differently. Critics of the coverage argue that LeBron's Lakers tenure was often presented as the perfect final chapter to an already legendary career. They believe that storyline naturally fit the spotlight surrounding one of basketball's biggest stars. Meanwhile, many fans within Los Angeles viewed the results through a very different lens. They felt some national conversations assumed that the arrival of a global superstar would automatically lead to another unforgettable Lakers dynasty. But many supporters never saw it that way. They judged that era using the same standards they always had: championship runs, sustained excellence, and seasons that consistently ended with the team competing for a title. That's the measuring stick many Lakers fans have relied on for decades. For fans who grew up watching the Showtime Lakers, the Shaq and Kobe era, and multiple championship teams, expectations have always been extraordinarily high. Those memories continue to shape how every new superstar is evaluated.
Having witnessed several historic championship runs, many supporters naturally compare each generation to those legendary moments. Whether that's fair or not, it has become part of the franchise's identity. Another point frequently raised by critics is that many fans evaluate the complete body of work instead of focusing on one unforgettable season. They consider playoff success, roster stability, consistency, and the way the team evolved. Some believe one championship deserves tremendous praise, while others argue the overall results didn't completely meet the standards that have defined the Lakers for generations. That difference in expectations continues to fuel passionate debate. Many supporters also compare arriving in Los Angeles late in a career to stepping into a place already filled with basketball history. The franchise's greatest legends built their reputations across many years, creating championship moments that became part of NBA history. Because of that, earning a similar place in Lakers history often requires much more than a relatively brief period of success. Every season is judged through the lens of everything that came before it. For many Lakers fans, Kobe Bryant understood exactly what wearing that jersey represented. They remember his loyalty, relentless work ethic, and determination to leave the franchise stronger than he found it. Whether someone ranks Kobe, LeBron, Magic, or another Lakers legend differently, one thing remains undeniable. Conversations about Lakers' greatness have always been driven by extraordinarily high expectations, and those debates will likely continue for years. For many supporters, this discussion exposed the growing gap between national sports conversations and the opinions of people who follow the Lakers every season. While television analysts often emphasize statistics, awards, and headlines, many dedicated fans also place tremendous value on leadership, competitiveness, consistency, and accountability. That's why Rob G's comments on Fox Sports Radio resonated with so many people online. Whether listeners agreed with him or not, he expressed a viewpoint that many Lakers fans felt had been overlooked. To many supporters, the biggest lesson from this era is simple. A historic franchise isn't defined by star power alone. They believe lasting greatness comes from years of commitment, shared sacrifices, championship expectations, and building a genuine connection with both the team and the city. That's why comparisons between Lakers legends continue to generate so much passion. For many fans, those conversations have always been about much more than statistics. As the Lakers enter a new chapter led by the next generation of talent, the debate surrounding this era will likely continue for years to come. Some fans will always view it as a successful period because it produced the 2020 championship, while others will argue the franchise's history demands an even higher standard. Either way, one thing remains clear. Lakers fans have never hesitated to defend what they believe represents true greatness. What do you think? Was one championship enough to secure LeBron's place among the greatest Lakers of all time? Or do you believe the franchise's legendary history requires much more before a player reaches that level? Share your thoughts in the comments below.